Hello and thanks for joining us. On today's film show, Keanu Reeves shows us Paris and its monuments like you've never seen them before. The fourth instalment of the John Wick franchise sees the ultra assassin, played by the iconic actor, continue his quest for vengeance, this time in the City of Lights. Jennifer Ben Brahim was at the Paris premiere.
The High Table, an international network of killers. From New York to Osaka to right here in Paris, John Wick is continuing his search for revenge and wants to free himself once and for all from this shady organization. But a few friends turned enemies are making his life a little bit complicated.
Challenge you to single combat.
If you win, you'll have your freedom.
And when I see you, I'ma take what I want, so.
Amen.
Keanu Reeves returns as the indestructible hitman in the fourth installment of a smash hit franchise.
En fait, je suis John Wick et il m'a pris mon identité.
Est-ce qu'il va vraiment s'en sortir? Est-ce qu'il va se faire des nouveaux alliés, des ennemis?
Les scènes qui s'est passées à Paris, je pense que ça va vraiment quelque chose.
I love you, Keanu Reeves.
Where better to meet Keanu and his former Matrix stuntman turned director Chad Stahelski than in Paris, the central location of the film.
You ready, John? Yeah.
Hi, how are you? Keanu Reeves, congratulations. Congratulations on John Wick 4. Some really impressive stunt sequences filmed right in the heart of Paris. How complicated is it to film these kind of scenes?
Complicated, yes. You know, we had a really wonderful action sequence in Montmartre on the steps going up the Sacré-Cœur. But that complexity and the challenge of it is also what makes it fun and special.
A fight sequence up and down the steps of the Sacré-Cœur, and a car chase around the chaotic Arc de Triomphe roundabout. John Wick 4 pays homage to some of the great action films of the past.
This hit goes out to you, Mr. Wick.
It's such a beautifully shot film. A lot of cinematic references, Walter Hill's Warriors, for example.
Love Walter Hill.
What other kind of cinematic references can we see in John Wick?
Oh my God, so many. Serge Leone, I would hope. I think there's a lot of Wachowski in there. I think there's a lot of Tarantino and Spielberg, I hope. People that influence Guy Ritchie. I think there's a lot of Akira Kurosawa influences in there. Obviously, David Lean with Lawrence of Arabia, which is why we went and shot in Aqaba. And we have the famous cut with Lawrence blowing out a match. I'm hugely influenced by Asian cinema, so I think that's a big part of all the John Wicks.
Sean?
Martial arts superstar Donnie Yen and Swedish actor turned French villain Bill Skarsgård are just some of the new faces to join the all-star cast.
Just the ambition of the director, the kind of the vision of the film. I think everyone, all the craftspeople, stunt team, camera, production design, everyone kind of unites around that vision and works together, and I think that's a very special feeling.
We both have the same passions. We love the cinematic experience. We love watching movies. We love making movies, and we love coming up with the ideas. I mean, he'll tell you the same thing. Samurai films, kung fu films, good old-fashioned 70s action films. We love all these. We love mythology. We love the way certain people tell certain stories, and I think that's what binds us the most.
Le Centre Pompidou.
Sacré-Cœur.
Sacré-Cœur.
We see some great, cultural locations like the Louvre. We see also Louis Vuitton Foundation. But John Wick is a busy man. He has places to be, people to kill. Can't really be a tourist in Paris. But for you,
He's fighting for his life.
Exactly. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's fighting for
Fighting for it, yes.
He's searching for peace.
But for Keanu Reeves, what is an ideal tourist day in Paris?
Let's start with the sunrise. Get a good baguette, maybe a good coffee, walk around, hang out with some friends, have a nice lunch, maybe go see some art, then go get another coffee.
Maybe hang out at the hotel or a friend's place, listen to some music, drink some wine, catch up.
Maybe sing in the street. Maybe then get another, maybe a sandwich with some French fries, hot sauce. See the sun come up again. Drink a little champagne, and then go to sleep.
The only way John Wick will ever have freedom and peace is in death.
Yeah, not really.
Jenny Ben Brahim reporting there. Next, genius, recluse, rebel and wild. They're just some of the ways the 19th century author of the English literary classic Wuthering Heights, Emily Bronte, has been portrayed over the years. This week, a new vision of the mysterious writer is out in France, a passion project from Australian actress, writer and now director Frances O'Connor, whose own breakthrough role was in the 1999 screen adaptation of Jane Austen's Mansfield Park.
Do you think I could be a writer?
Perhaps. You'd have to show me something first, though.
I have lots of stories.
Frances O'Connor, hello.
Hello.
This is your first time behind the camera. You wrote and directed Emily. Describe it to us.
So this is a story about a young woman who lives in the middle of nowhere with her father, who's a reverend, and two sisters and a brother. She feels like she doesn't fit in. Really, the second half of the film is about her finding her voice and accepting who she is as a person by getting out and living life, even though it's hard for her. Yeah, and it's a kind of invented origin story for Wuthering Heights, kind of. So many of the elements in the film are actually historically true and happen at the right time, but there are elements that are kind of, I let my imagination, in the same way I felt like that Emily let her imagination go when writing Wuthering Heights.
And what sort of reaction have you had from some die-hard fans, for example?
Well, I'm very close to all the people at the parsonage, at Bronte Parsonage. We've got to know them really well, and they've been incredibly helpful. When they actually saw the film, they absolutely loved it. They all cried. And yeah, a majority of people love the film, I think, because I think when you see the film, you understand that there's a lot of authenticity in the way that we've made the film, in the research that we've done, even though we're breaking some rules. In the same way that Emily broke a lot of rules when she wrote Wuthering Heights. But there are some people who it's just like, it rubs them up the wrong way. But I think that's good. I mean, cinema should do that.
Did you hear what Reverend Miller said?
Meaning of life in a cup of tea.
What about Waitman's sermon?
The actual words were all
He
right.
speaks with such poetry, such truth.
But any man can speak. What I want to know is, can he actually do?
Do what?
And you grew up in Australia, a little bit similar place in the middle of nowhere with 4 brothers and sisters. Do you feel like you've got things in common with Emily Bronte?
I do in that, like, I did grow up in the middle of nowhere with siblings, with a lot of sisters, and we did roam the land, and, like, I lived in my imagination. We didn't really watch a lot of TV, so I feel like, you know, I have that in common. I'm an introvert, she's an introvert. I haven't written Wuthering Heights, though. She wrote that book at 27. I mean, she's a genius, a literary genius, and she's so clever, and her poetry is so transcendent and gorgeous, and but I do feel a kind of a connection to her. And also I think, you know, one of the themes in the film is about being authentic to who you are, even if what that is different. And I think Emily was different, but she was okay with it. And I think that's a great kind of thing to kind of celebrate at this particular moment.
Now, for the international audience who might not know Emily Bronte, who might not have read Wuthering Heights, tell us about the story and why you loved it so much.
Yeah. I mean, I read it on a school bus when I was 15 in Australia, and I remember I would get off the bus and I really felt I'd actually been somewhere else, you know. I remember the feeling in the book was so strong for me, and I loved these rebellious characters that were kind of so naughty and didn't care what people thought about them.
Freedom in thought! Come on, really get behind it.
Freedom in thought!
Come on, give it some welly. Freedom in thought!
Freedom in thought!
One theme that underpins the film is how hard it is for women to claim centre stage, and how we edit our own lives to make ourselves presentable to other people. Is that a problem confined to the 19th century, do you think?
No, I don't think so. It's called Instagram. I mean, I think we always like edit ourselves. I mean, literally in the room, we'll edit ourselves and think, oh, I can't say that because that's not very demure, or that's not, you know, they'll think I'm too aggressive, or often we don't feel safe to kind of just say actually what we really feel. And then we'll end up saying too much. And
then feel bad about it.
And then feel bad about it. I'm such a bad woman. Yeah, and so I think, yeah, I kind of wanted to speak to that too, in terms of just being true to yourself.
And I wanted to ask you, you've starred in lots of different projects, lots of different films as an actress, alongside Elizabeth Hurley, Brendan Fraser in Bedazzled, Jude Law and William Hurt in Steven Spielberg's AI, Judi Dench and Rupert Everett in The Importance of Being Earnest. Where do you see your path taking you now?
I've written my next thing and I'm working on maybe somebody else's project, so it kind of feels like I'd like to actually do this for a little bit and then maybe step back into acting. Maybe that will be reinvigorated, I don't know. Yeah, we'll see.
We look forward to seeing what you're going to do next. Thank you so much.
Cool, pleasure.
Who are you? You wait and see.
And you can watch my interview with the Franco-British actress Emma Mackey, who plays Emily Bronte, online at france24.com. Now we're going to leave you with a luscious drama about a tailor and his wife. Writer-director Mariam Touzani takes on the subject of homosexuality in Morocco in The Blue Kaftan.
I feel very strongly that there is a real desire for debate, that there is a real desire to talk about things that we don't necessarily talk about. And sometimes when a film comes speaking about this kind of subjects, that it opened a window for discussion, and that's something that's very beautiful as a filmmaker to feel, that it can contribute to a positive debate.
Now, Mariam Touzani is one of 3 female artists we met for our special programme from Casablanca, who are using their craft to find freedom and empowerment in the sometimes patriarchal and conservative society. You can watch the full show later this week and online at france24.com. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
ورك مزيان فاش تخيب.
يوسف، فينا هو ستعوز؟
أنا ماشي شفار.
علاش كتطلب منه السماحة ما فهمتش.
القفطان كيخصو يعيش كتر من ولادو، يلبسو بنتها من وراها، يصبر للزمان.